Welcome back into the ASUG News studio. My name is Tom Whalegum, one of the co-editorial directors of asugnews.com. We're very happy to have in here Michael Pytel from Nimbl. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
You are a good friend to ASUG and a great partner, and we appreciate the support, so thanks very much.
Well, you are welcome. ASUG is a fantastic organization. We've got another great event this year.
I mean, it's just amazing. Every year you come and you think, maybe I'll get a good night's sleep here and there, but it's just so exhilarating, and it's hard for people to understand what's happening, but I mean, it's just a great show. Well, for those of us watching don't know Nimbl, tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Well, Nimbl's an SAP services partner, and we're really focused on all things NetWeaver, so all things technical. We like to think of ourselves as the leading NetWeaver experts in North America. We started around 4 years ago, and my career started in IT as a night operator, working on a mainframe, babysitting invoices, and
Nice.
Since then I've now enjoyed working during the daylight hours on Solution Manager.
That's great. Solution Manager has been around for more than 10 years. Where are we with it in the Solution Manager journey? You know, the customer adoption is where you think it should be. I mean, SolMan can sometimes get a bad rap, but as it stands now in 2013, you know, what's your overall take, and then we can dive into some of the specifics that are more applicable for this.
Well, last year SAP released a new version of Solution Manager 7.1, and it changed the look and feel of Solution Manager to make it more usable. I think that was one of the things that was sort of hindering Solution Manager from gaining adoption. The implementation was also a little bit more simplified. But in terms of adoption, I often say that Solution Manager tastes like kale. Like, we all know kale is good for us, and it's nutritious, and it's the superfood, kind of like SolMan, right? It's good for our organizations, but sometimes it doesn't get implemented to the fullest extent that we want.
And SAP is well aware of this as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we do road shows, and we do a lot of speaking all throughout the year with SAP product managers to sort of advertise the benefits of kale or Solution Manager.
So what's, for curiosity's sake, what's the reason why companies don't use it to the full, if it's full of its ability, SolMan? Why do they resist?
I think IT departments, more recently in the past couple of years are focusing on HANA and mobility, which drive top-line growth. Solution Manager won't drive top-line growth. Solution Manager drives down the bottom line, right? It makes you more operationally efficient. And so I think more recently everybody's focused on top line, but SolMan customers can find operational savings with SolMan 7.1.
So let's talk about 7.1. What's so good about it? I mean, should customers be excited about, finding out?
Well, something that happened recently with Solution Manager 7.1 is that it was recently Pink Elephant certified for 15 ITIL processes.
What does that mean for us not steeped in language?
So ITIL is the International Information Library. It's sort of a set of IT standards. And Solution Manager now has more certifications than ServiceNow or some of these other SaaS ITIL online help desk tools that you see. Solution Manager has more certifications than those. It's amazing.
So what does that mean, customers, that it's more robust? How does that play out?
What it means is really that it's been independently verified as a tool that's ready for prime time, right? It's ready for use, it's ready to come out of the back office, the data center, and be exposed to the rest of the business.
So you're, obviously probably none of your engagements are greenfield, but let's say they were. Where should Solution Manager fit into their, kind of landscape that they have? Where should it really be anchored so people can get more advantage out of it?
It really should be anchored in business process ownership, right? Solution Manager can help us document and define our business processes, because we can't improve our organizations unless we know what we do.
Right.
If we don't understand our accounting processes or our manufacturing processes, we can't make them leaner and meaner and more efficient.
Right.
And Solution Manager can help us do that with its business process repository.
So is it a fact that no one wants to own Solution Manager? Is that a problem?
It is sort of a stepchild. It has one foot in the door on the technical side of the house, and it has another foot in the door in project management, and then a third leg over there in the business analyst and the business process world.
So that's a pretty big challenge, right, to have?
It is. People always say, well, who owns it? And ultimately, we find that it has to have multiple owners.
So how do you get the, is that what you guys will go in and tell them? This is how it has to happen? Everyone raise their hand.
Exactly.
Whoever's late to the meeting gets the ownership.
That's right. Whoever's on the phone gets the responsibility.
So how do you guys advise clients to best take advantage of it?
Well, we try to help customers analyze where do they have gaps. Do they have gaps in managing incidents? Do they have gaps in managing their business process? Do they have gaps in managing technical monitoring type information? And generally that's where we start, and they take the ownership of the product first and pass the torch, or pass the baton to the next team, which may go do the other tools.
Are there misconceptions out there still today, even with 7.1, as we've seen, that's a pretty big step for SAP. Are there still some misconceptions you're finding about Soulman and what it actually can do?
There are a lot of misconceptions. I think there's still a lot of unknowns. I mean, customers are oftentimes don't realize that they get an enterprise level testing tool with Solution Manager. With enterprise support, SAP is giving away test automation licenses now.
Wow.
And so it's just a matter of educating customers is what do they get with enterprise support, and Solution Manager at the core of that enterprise support agreement that customers renew every year with SAP.
Yep. So is there more SAP, I'll put you on the hot seat, can be doing to rev up? I mean, we're obviously hearing about cloud and HANA and mobility and, as you said, kind of the stepchild a little bit. Is there more that SAP itself can be doing? Or, I mean, they certainly have a lot of people working behind it. What could they be doing more?
They do have a lot of great people behind it. They have great product managers, John Krakowski and Evan Stoddard here in North America, who do a great job speaking all throughout the year. I think it's just, again, continuing to put it at the front of the project. When we implement or upgrade SAP, we make sure that it's in use in the beginning of a project, so it's used for the life of it.
So do you have some good, like a customer story that, a recent customer story that you can say, hey, this is, they had the challenge, but they did it, and what can we look at in terms of rewards that they've reaped from that?
Well, one success story is a customer wanted to upgrade to Enhancement Pack 6.
Okay.
Right? So there's probably a lot of customers in this building that have the same challenge. Well, how do you know what's going to be impacted? What business processes do we need tested? What will potentially break or need to be validated before we can get this thing in production? Solution Manager has tools that can do this. It can do the analysis to say, if I take this enhancement pack and put it in production, what business processes are going to be impacted?
Right.
So that you can have focused, targeted testing.
Right.
I think that's something that a lot of customers don't realize that they have today in their environment as part of enterprise support.
Right. It's a great point. So let's say you're at one of these parties and someone sidles up to you, figures out what you do. What's your best piece of advice that you'd give them? Your best kept secret that you would share with them when they say, we know it's important, but we just can't get it going. What would you say to them?
Well, I would say that there are key tools in Solution Manager that have tremendous amount of value week 1, week 2, week 3. So there are tools that can have an immediate return. We know that there's change management tools and testing tools that do take a lot of time to implement. They do have a payoff as well, but there are quick wins, and those quick wins typically get the business excited to do more with Solution Manager.
Right.
So focus on that low-hanging fruit and focus on those quick wins.
Great. Well, Michael, thank you very much for coming in. It's been great.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Check out asugonline.com for more interviews from ASUG Annual Conference and Sapphire Now. And thank you very much for watching.